Back in the days of Gran Turismo Sport, there was this thing called Kudos Prime where you could, I guess technically still can, log in and see any players' DR and SR and see the actual numerical values. And a lot of people liked it. I sure did. There was an app that connected to this database too, so that while you're playing after every race, you could go in and see your progress. Gran Turismo 7 does not work with it anymore. It sort of. There is a way to do it with Kudos Prime, but it's a bit convoluted, and that brings us to the latest, which is GranTracker.com. And saying Gran Tracker makes it sound like graham cracker in my brain. So the way Kudos Prime now works and Gran Tracker works is you have to screenshot your Gran Turismo 7 profile page, and then both of these services will analyze that screenshot for your progress bar and basically count how many pixels are filling that bar, and then reverse engineer the math to tell you what the numerical value is. What you're looking at here is the Gran Tracker app on my Mac. It does run on Windows as well. You just install. Running it on a Mac was a little, you got to jump through some security hoops to basically tell the OS that yes, it's okay to use this app. And once I did, it comes preloaded with sample data. You can kind of see how this works though. It generates a graph. It gives you the ability to make notes, which is kind of cool. It tells you for all of your sport races as you enter the data. That's the big drawback here, is you still have to enter all the data. So we'll get to that in a little bit and how exactly you do that. But it's a pretty robust app. You also have to enter the daily race data, so there is a fair amount of data entry involved with this particular tool. But it does seem to have some cool features, and if you're kind of a data nerd, you can geek out over the display of it and exactly how much data you can track. Here are some of the various tabs. It does come preloaded with these tracks / races. You can also add to this though, so I believe anyway this is where your daily races go. You do enter this. I made some sort of error when I first filled this out, skipped a week, and you can populate all of that with the current data. You can edit cars, you can add cars, you can edit tracks. So I think the idea here is that as GT7 is updated, you don't have to rely on an update to the application on the computer. It just is something that you have total control over. Here I'm going to enter a new week, and for some reason I skipped ahead a week. This is recorded a few days ago, so I skipped around. Anyway, what I did was just went to GT Planet and saw what the latest daily races were for the week, put those in, and yeah, pretty self-explanatory how this works. So you can put in as much of this data as you want. You don't really have to, I guess, either. Kind of nice to have it in there though. The way Gran Tracker and Kudos Prime now work is by analyzing screenshot of your profile page, which you see there. So what you have to do is after every daily race, or I guess you don't have to do it after every, but if for the most complete, you're going to do after every daily race, you're going to hit your share button on your controller. That gives you the option to save a screenshot. You're going to save that screenshot, then those screenshots need to get from your PlayStation onto the computer. First way I tried it was using the PS app on my phone to view the screenshots, then download them to the Photos app on my iPhone, then airdrop those to the Mac. So it's quite a few steps. The downside to this method is that you will lose the timestamp that is typically in the file name of your screenshot by transferring back and forth. So I ended up using the USB drive to physically plug it into the PS5, transfer the files, and then pop that into my computer for importing, which is done here. So you click that, then you can select your screenshots, navigate through the USB drive, Gran Turismo 7, and I select the most, I think I just did 3 for this test, but looks like the timestamp there, date modified, is the date I transferred the screenshots. So I guess I'm going to do these one at a time. I'm not sure if you can do multiple files, but as you select that file, then you can select the car. You can also make some other notes here. It also has clean race bonus, so you can use as much, I guess, or as little of that as you want, but the important one there is the DR. It is now getting the numerical value from scanning the pixels on that screenshot. It does also, the application does also track your SR with character recognition. However, since Gran Turismo 7 does not give a progress bar, there's nothing to analyze, so all it's doing is character recognition to recognize what level you're at. So if you're at S, A, B, C, etc., that's really all it can do. But it's kind of interesting. You can see as I'm entering my data in here, and you can view this graph. The graph you can zoom in on and kind of scale back and forth or slide back and forth. It looks pretty cool. I like that it's got the racetrack shown with a graphical representation of the track. You've got some other information shown about the race. It's a pretty cool application. I've been playing with it a little bit. The real pain of this is going to be the transferring screenshots. Let's be honest, it's just not fun. Kudos Prime for Gran Turismo Sport was just automatic and easy. But I think it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you miss using that feature. So go check it out, GranTracker.com.